You cannot choose how other people choose to identify you. That is where the LGBTQ plus community does wrong. You can only choose how you see yourself and how you love yourself and how you identify. And if you're strong in your own identity, over time, the external world will also reflect that identity. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I was born with a certain skin color. It was not my choice. Allah didn't ask me what I think about this particular skin color. It was given to me. I was born a man. It was not my choice. I was just given male as how I was born. I was born in Sweden. I wasn't born in Africa. I wasn't born in the Middle East. I wasn't born in the United States. I was born in Sweden to a Finnish mother and a Gambian father of the Fula tribe. I wasn't born Mandinka or Wolof father, but Fula, with a certain name. These things were given to me. These are physical attributes. Nobody chooses their skin color. Nobody. For example, when I go to the Gambia or Africa, people identify me as a European or as a white person. They usually say Tubab, Tubab. Now I have two choices when they call me white person. So when you live in Europe as a man of color, you can be very discriminated against. Then you travel to Africa and think that things are going to be good in Africa. I've been 17 or 18 times to Africa. Then you go to Africa, people call you white dude. Can you choose that? No. Can you try to change the entire society to identify you the way you want to be identified? You can't spend your life to change the mind of million people, can you? You cannot. If I go to Europe, can I choose that people are not going to be racist? No. Some people have that mentality. They want to have a racist mentality. What I can choose is how I react to it. And the best reaction is just to let them be and ignore and stay away from people who are bigoted and idiots and are ignorant, and try to focus on yourself and being in a positive light. That is what you can do. Now, what is tyranny? Tyranny is when society wants to force you into a identity and say that it is lower. The caste system, for example. Because in the caste system in India, you weren't given a choice. You are seen as lesser if you're a lower caste, but you might be intelligent, so it might be extremely limiting to you. Or race would be another extremely tyrannical system, because you don't choose how you are born. Some are smart, some are lesser smart, but that you have to be associated with a group that you don't really even belong to, that was just given to you against your will, is an enormous amount of tyranny. or you are forced into a kind of nationalist identity. You're Ukrainian or Russian, and you should be hated because you're Russian. But being Russian, being born in Russia was not a choice. Being born in Ukraine was not a choice. You are a human being. So this is the kind of tyranny, or, the way Jewish people were treated during the Holocaust. Some might have nothing to do with the war, but they have to suffer because they have other people are identifying them as a certain group and forcing themselves upon that. So we are going to a world where identity is becoming more and more important. And it's becoming more and more difficult to stay away from that. I just want to remind everyone that you cannot choose how other people identify you. You can choose how you identify yourself. Because if other people choose to be racist or bigoted or nationalist, or see you in terms of tribalist, or in terms of Muslim, non-Muslim, that is nothing you can control. That is up to them. People can identify you in so many different ways. But you cannot define your identity based on how other people see you. And that is where the LGBTQ plus community ends wrong, because they want to change other people's opinion of them because they don't believe in what they themselves are. And many African people end up in that same, they want to change how white people, so to speak, they identify them as white, see them, because they cannot identify themselves independent on what those other people think. Now, you cannot change that. And you cannot externalize your identification of yourself to other people. You have to know who you are. And you have to decide also to a certain degree what you are. And if that person is ignorant of your identity and that person is tyrannical, wants to force an identity on you, leave them, go away, stay away from those kinds of people. Hopefully this was interesting. Assalamu alaikum.